The aim of all of these YouTube videos that I spend so much time doing is really just to help you generate revenue from your personal brand and your business. I have been through this multiple times, and I've met a lot of people that have really great ideas that they want to implement, however end up getting discouraged because those ideas, those businesses, or that personal brand is actually not making money. And that is basically my life's work with my business. So welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Lima, and if you are new to this channel, welcome. It's so good to have you. If you're an oldie, welcome. And I must apologize for being MIA. It has been such a hectic August, being Women's Month in South Africa, and it's just been hard to create a lot of content, mainly because it's Women's Month. So I've just been doing a lot of speaking at Women's Month events, virtually, in person, and however, I am back, and I'm just going to be giving you guys content, which is something that I did all the time. Now, today's video is going to be talking about 6 things you need to know when you are negotiating. Now, this obviously applies to somebody that is also in the corporate space, or if you are an entrepreneur, or you've got a personal brand that you actually are running, right? These skills are going to be able to help you, number one, negotiate those brand deals, or negotiate with somebody that wants you to discount them on a particular price. So I really hope that these tips that I'm going to share in this video are going to be super helpful to you. So I've noted all of them down, and to not make this video super long, I'm just actually going to go through them bit by bit, so that you can actually get the gist of it. And like I always say, with anything that anybody gives you anyway, it is very important that you take that, and once you've taken that, you begin to customize it in a way that is actually suitable for you. So this is definitely in a way that you can actually utilize whatever it is that you are being given by that person. So you don't just take whatever it is that you find on the internet and then start running with that. You need to have the wisdom to actually move and create from a place of personalization. That's the biggest thing that I always advise a lot of people to do. So the first thing that I want to share with you guys is, number one, you need to understand your value. It'll be so hard for you to bring yourself into a particular market if you don't understand the value that you bring to that market. And when you don't understand the value that you bring to that market, people can easily take advantage of you. People can easily underpay you. People can easily under negotiate you. So instead of them paying you 10K, for instance, they will pay you 3K because you don't understand that your value is actually worth that 10K. So understanding your value becomes the first and most fundamental step of being able to negotiate. And I think generally generating business revenue in any business, you need to understand, what do you bring to your table. Now, when I did a Twitter space, I think 3 weeks ago, this was actually one of the topics, and one of the biggest things I mentioned, or rather somebody asked, how do I calculate or know what my value is? Now, there's a lot of ways you can actually do that in your business, but I'm going to give you kind of an example of how I would do that for my personal brand, right? So because it's August and we are being invited to speak at a lot of events, one of the things that is bound to happen is that people are going to say, well, how much do you charge to come and speak? Now, what I then actually do for myself is I begin to calculate for myself, number one, how much money do I actually use on a monthly basis to upskill myself. The reason why that somebody's inviting me to come and speak at the event is because they found me on either social media or whatever, and they thought to themselves, she speaks so well and she's got so much to share and we want to have her at the event. That means that I'm constantly upskilling myself so that I can show up that way, right? There's that. There's outfit, there's makeup, and then there's the knowledge I've spent so much years consuming, and my time as well. So now you begin to package all of those things. Sometimes, guys, as you start, it's so much easier to thumb suck, but as you go, there becomes a formula of saying, to actually run this personal brand so that I'm able to speak and deliver content and I need X amount of money. So if I need X amount of money for my cost as a personal brand, I then need to add a certain percentage of a markup to be able to charge for the speaking engagement or for the post and also the other thing that's just so much easier. You have to look at the people in your industry as well and kind of figure out how much are they also charging, so you can also begin to adjust those prices. But understand your value. I think your value goes beyond in this case who you truly are, because the people that are out there don't really know who you are. Your value is actually on what it is that you actually carry with you and what can you give to the people that want to be given. So that becomes a very crucial tool to remember so much. Number 2 is discover the other person's interest. Now, anytime you're about to, let's say, get into a negotiation negotiation with anybody for the sake of this conversation, right? You need to realize that it is important to discover what the other person is interested in. So let me give you an example. If you have, and I've seen this happen a lot, right, for children, if you realize, okay, this child doesn't normally, she doesn't usually eat all of her food. So we are going to say, okay, Candace, if you don't eat all of your food today, you are not going to get ice cream after dinner. What will Candace do? Candace will want to eat all of her food because she loves ice cream so much that she wants it after dinner. Now, what you then need to realize is that person who's the older person that has said that to little Candace obviously knows what Candace's interest actually is, and Candace's interest at that time is ice cream, so she can actually be able to dangle that carrot to get what she wants out of it. And that is something that is very important whenever we talk about negotiation. You need to know what the other person's interest actually is, because this helps you kind of bargain in terms of coming back to discuss what it is that you actually need further. Number 3 is be prepared, guys. Preparation is fundamental, and it goes, I think, with absolutely anything. Always be prepared in whatever it is that you're doing and whatever it is that you want to get into. The important thing about, or the biggest reason why it is important to be prepared, is because you are not shocked, and then you don't have to think on your feet, because not everyone can think on their feet, especially when they are brought on like news, or somebody just gives you a figure that you weren't expecting. You know, you don't run away, or you don't react, right? But you actually sit down, think about it, because you were prepared and you anticipated that this is something that might come, so you really kind of have to come back for that. So that is very, very important. And then the 4th one is be a good listener. I always encourage a lot of people to do this, because what I've noticed is that when you are a good listener, you actually get to hear things that people are actually saying. It's not reading between the lines, it's reading between the words that people are using. So if we are saying discover the other person's interest, if you listen more, you will actually get to discover this person's interest, because you can hear the type of words that they're using. And people usually are very repetitive as far as the things that they are far much more interested in. So that becomes super important for you to remember that it is important to literally be attentive to that person that you're talking to in that process of negotiation. And then the 5th one is, like, I think it caused quite a huge debate, but I was really glad because it kind of opened people's eyes to what is out there and the possibilities of other things. And that is always ask for more. Guys, the worst that could happen when you always ask for more money in a deal is that they could say, no, we only have 5K, we can't give you 10K, and then you can take it from there. But never, ever short sell yourself. Always ask for more. Asking for more actually leaves room for negotiation with the other party, okay? I think I've told this story on one of my YouTube videos about one of my first experiences of actually starting my business, and that I got a client. And because this is something that they taught us in school, I was like, okay, I'm literally going to charge more. And not more isn't like overcharging. I'm just charging more because that's what I think my worth is, my work was worth at that time. And when I did, guys, I've narrated this story multiple times, but people actually paid what I was asking for, because I was so confident in the price that I was asking, because I knew that what I would be able to deliver would be worth that much. So always ask for more. The worst that could happen is people say we can't afford more, and they then try to negotiate you to another number. Always asking for more actually helps you in this way. So let's say, for instance, you're looking to start a business, right? And you need 3 million as an example. And then you've got investors or funders or people that are willing to give you money. Then you go to them. When you go to them, don't ask for 3 million. You probably ask for like 5 million, because they will try to talk you down and say, well, for your idea, maybe I'd be willing to give you 4, or maybe I'd be willing to give you 3.5. You will end up walking away with enough, if not a little bit more than you wanted in the beginning, when you always ask for more. So that is very, 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 very important. And then the last and the 6th point is know what you're willing to lose out of a negotiation. Now, I always say that there's 2 different types of negotiations. The first one is the negotiation where you say, okay, I really want to work with these people, but I want to see how much more they can pay me. And then the second one is, I really want to work with these people, but if they're not willing to pay me X amount of money, I'm not going to work with them. Now, these 2 negotiations are going to obviously be negotiated a bit more differently. You will find that you are going to be a bit more stricter with these guys, because it's a take it or leave it deal, and then you're probably not going to be more accommodative with these guys because you definitely want to work with them. Now with these two things, what you then need to realize is that you need to understand what it is that you're willing to lose. So for instance, with the deal that you want, right, remember with this deal, you're saying I'm willing to lose the entire deal if I don't get what I want from it. Great, perfect. If you're in that position, absolutely awesome. And then with this deal that you definitely want, chances are sometimes you might not get the amount of money that you actually need in the first place. So you need to then ask yourself, what else can you get out of this deal if it's not the money that you need? Could you get better exposure? Could you get a long-term relationship with them? Could you get a retainer contract? What else could you get with them that would make it so much easier for you to begin to negotiate? Because sometimes, guys, to actually wrap up this video, sometimes in any negotiation, it's not always about money. That's the first thing. And it's not always a win-lose situation. It's you making sure that you get what you are worth because you understand your value, and that the other person also gets what they are wanting from you and they get that value. It's not about underchanging someone else and making them pay more than what they actually should. That's not what it's about. It's about you getting paid what you're worth, especially with people that are chanting or people that don't yet realize the value that you actually have. So it becomes very important that when you understand this 6 points and you actually put them to practice, you can easily start walking with confidence in whatever it is that you do, because it makes it so much easier for you to begin to run your business. It makes it so much easier for you to begin to know that, okay, this is how much I actually get paid for certain things. If you have realized this, every time you charge more for something and somebody is willing to pay for it, you don't then move from there and get another person to pay a different price, right? That then just becomes a standard price because that's what you begin to offer people. So that becomes very important, and that is something you need to continuously realize and learn, that it is very important for you to start working towards those things. So with all of that said, guys, I really hope that this video was super fruitful for you, and that is going to help you somehow kind of begin to negotiate, especially with the chances that are coming for your coin and don't want to pay you what you're worth. You need to stand your ground. You need to understand your value. You need to know what you're willing to lose. You need to always ask for more. Take all the points that we've shared in this video and actually put them into good use so you can get what you want out of any single deal. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. I've got a lot of content actually coming up, so subscribe to the channel, you guys, and I love you guys so much. Okay, let me know in the comment section below, what other things do you actually struggle with when it comes to negotiating for a specific deal, and maybe we can open up that conversation a little bit more, and I can find tools and resources and tips that would be able to actually help you kind of, walk past that. So thank you once again. Have yourself a beautiful one, and I'll see you next time. Mwah! Goodbye.